All right, so it's Wednesday afternoon. Just got done with some work, and now we're gonna finish getting the C7 ready to go to Track Night in America at Daytona tomorrow morning. So despite the name Track Night, I gotta be there at 7 a.m. and our sessions will be done by like 1 in the afternoon, which is good because this is Florida, and like every afternoon we're about to get a crazy thunderstorm, and hopefully doing it early will help us avoid thunderstorms in Daytona tomorrow. So rundown right here, so you can see the car. I'll kind of rotate. Never mind the messy garage. We live life. I'm going to put on my autocross wheels, which are currently up on the rack up there. We'll take off the daily driver tires, which are some Nitto summer tires in the rear and some Nitto all seasons in the front. That's how I bought the car, and I'm just going to run them until they wear out. But 2 weeks ago, I put some EBC yellow stuff pads in the front. You can kind of come over here. See a little bit of yellow tabs there. So we got those got put in 2 weeks ago, and did about 200 street miles, then bed them in properly per their instructions. They were out of stock of yellow stuff for the rears, so I have Hawk HPS 5.0s in the rears, which I've run before. On the CTSV I had 5.0s all around, and I really liked them, so we'll just go with that on this and see how it does. I also bled the brakes with fresh RBF 600.4 when I did the pads. And then last weekend she got a fresh oil change, and we got 10 quarts of 0W40 Mobil 1 supercar in there. I usually in all my other cars would run either like VR1 or AMSOIL or Penn Grade 1. This car's got 85,000 miles on it. I don't know what previous people ran, but when I got it from the dealership, it just had a fresh oil change of the 0W40 supercar. Gets great oil pressure. It seemed to run fine for the 5,000 miles I put on the car, and then I just changed it. So it's got fresh oil to go out to the track. So I've already got it. I don't know if you noticed when I filmed earlier, I've got it driven up on my sweet 3-inch tall ramps. Those let me get my jack underneath the car. So I'm gonna break the torque on the lug nuts and then get the car up in the air, and we will put on my Apex wheels with the Kumho V730s, and we'll get this thing ready to drive down to Daytona tomorrow and hopefully have a whole lot of fun. All right, so I'm a little bit sweatier now than when I was filming last. The car is up in the air. All 4 wheels are off of it. Just kind of giving it its last once over for Track Night Americas. If you don't know, you basically do, try to hold that up so my double chin's not so awesome. You basically do your own tech sheets. It's kind of nice. It's a little bit of a, like, trust on you. I mean, like I said earlier, I just did an oil change in this car, just did brakes, just flushed all the brake fluid. So, you know, it's pretty good to go, but I'll give it one last check over the fluids and everything. It's a very, very stockish LT1 in there. Only things done to it is a previous owner got this Lingenfelter LT5 throttle body in there. It's got a GM Performance intake. And then the car has an aftermarket X-pipe and some Corsa mufflers, so it sounds pretty good. And other than that, it's just it's a stock Z51 M7. It's got 85,000 miles on it. I've since February put the last 5,000 miles on it. It's been a really fun time. I'm excited to get it out on the track and really give it a go for getting on it. We have our super speeder law here in Florida, so it's not been much over 100 because I don't want to go to jail. So I'm kind of excited. We'll get out on the track and we'll really send it. So right now I'm just giving it its once over, filling out my tech sheet. I'm going to be putting on my V730s, which are, by the way, they're 275 square setup because I'm cheap and I want to be able to rotate tires. So it's kind of, here's the one that's going to go on the rear. Try to get in here where you can see and have it zoomed in good. These things, like, I've never seen V730s. They look mostly slick. These ones still have a pretty good life, right? The wear bars aren't even being touched yet. Still have little nublets on them. So I bought these used from a local race team here in Jacksonville. I've got 5 autocross events on them. Actually, 6. 1 on a CTSV and 5 on the Corvette. And we're gonna, get a track day and see how many more autocross events I can get out of them. If I can get this whole season, that will be really cool. If I don't get the whole season, I'll buy some more used tires from the team. But yeah, so just kind of giving it a once over, checking my fluids. I know all the brakes pads are good, but I'm gonna give them a look just in case somehow in the 2 weeks I put them in, something crazy happened and you know, one of them's really thin or anything. But other than that, I mean, this is as a stock Corvette, there's not a lot to check on it. Just kind of make sure everything is still there and good and in place. So I'm gonna get back to work, get this thing ready, and I'll be out at the track tomorrow. All right, it's been an eventful evening. I helped a neighbor work on a car that had something dragging under it, but I'm done up with what I'm gonna do now. So we got the Apex wheels on with the Kumhos mounted on the Corvette. I've got the back of the Corvette loaded with, I got a toolbox with just some emergency tools in case I need them. Got my helmet. I brought 10 gallons of extra gas. Corvette's only running on just premium pump, but last time I rode the CTSV there, 3 20-minute sessions, took more than a tank of gas. The Corvette will hopefully be better. But just in case, bringing some gas with me because there's no gas available at Daytona for the track night in the Americas. Got a sweet hat, some things. It's just pretty much it. The car is now ready. Wheels are all torqued. Tire pressure sensors in these ones are programmed to the car. And then also, in case anyone's curious, I do use HP tuners, and I change the tune only just like the wheel size so the speedometer reads correct, because obviously a 275 35 18 in the back is a different size than a 285 35 20. So keep the speedometer right, and then having the same size front and back, nothing I can do about it. The car's body control module does not particularly really like it, but it also doesn't hate it too much. So definitely gets to the point where I can't use cruise control above 55 miles an hour, which is weird, but it doesn't throw crazy traction control codes. It doesn't do weird things to the ABS. So having a 0% difference front to rear on my car in particular doesn't seem to bother it too much. But it, you know, doesn't like cruise control, which is weird. It kind of sucks. I have an hour and a half drive down to Daytona tomorrow morning. But no cruise control for me. So I'll just have a nice morning of manually going 70 to 80 miles an hour down 95. But yeah, car's ready to go. I am pumped on it. New tune flashed in for this speedometer, tire sense program, tools in it, gas in it. Ready to go have some fun. All right. Thanks for watching. All right, we're driving into Daytona. Some track night in America. We're gonna cut through the tunnel here pretty soon. I'm excited. Coming down into the tunnel. Being childish, revving. C8 Z06 behind me couldn't resist either. All right, we're coming on up into the infield, and we're inside of NASCAR 1 right now. Speed bump. All right, I'm gonna stop recording and drive. Okay, jumping right into some on-track action. This is first session. So I had the EBC yellow stuff pads in. Mentioned earlier in the video, put them in about 2 weeks before the track day. Broke them in per instructions, got them bedded. Did about 200 miles of regular city driving. After 200 miles, did several 60 mile an hour to 10 mile an hour aggressive stops. Got the pads nice and hot, made everything dusty, smelled them. Then drove about another 200 miles, and now we're here at the track day. I can tell you it does seem like they take a little more to bed in than that. As we dive into turn 1 here. My first 2 laps coming in like actual underload, definitely did not have the brakes I wanted to coming into turn 1, overshot the corner a little bit. But after that, they seem to be bedded in nice. They definitely came in strong for the second and third sessions. Let's watch a little bit of this. So this is the second session out on track. My fastest lap was in here. I'm just going to put this entire session in its entirety because it was just generally good fun. So sit back and enjoy. particular. You get 3 20-minute sessions on track. The first time you come out, we're under a yellow flag. So, you're trying to warm the car up, warm the tires up, warm yourself up. There's no passing allowed. So, just I'll keep my distance a little bit from the car in front of me. Also, the car in front of me in this instance is the CA06, I'm pretty sure, so he's much faster than I am. But I don't want to start our first flying lap being right on his bumper, so kind of try to space out, use the first lap to give everyone some space. So ideally, you can have minimal traffic and have fun, since passing is allowed in a track day like this, but you have to point by people, so you can't pass someone unless they're pointing you by. And people are coming behind you, you're supposed to point it by, so it's kind of nice to get as much space as we can. The track is really long. Ideally, we can all have a little bit of space with it. So here we are coming out the yellow flag lap, just getting a feel for it. That's why the lap counter says lap 0, and there is no passing until we get onto lap 1. All right, still just enjoying the crap out of Daytona.
start of session 3. This one was really fun. The first couple of laps, I really was just following behind the C7 Z06 in front of me, and I was having a really good time. I couldn't hang with him every time we get out on the banking, and he used his LT4 with that supercharger. You just watch him walk away, but I was feeling really proud of myself because I was catching up at the bus stop and in the infield. Fair disclaimer, I'm on 200 tread wear tires and he's on Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. So I definitely had the tire advantage, but he had the power advantage, and it's just generally really good fun to come out and play with the cars.
great success.
This is your last call, intermediate group. Intermediate group to the grid. Last call for your process.
Well, all right. 3 track sessions done. Car's in one piece. It's a little dirty. Definitely got some brake dust going on from the EBC yellows. Surprisingly large amount of dead bugs happening. Also, every time I have heavy brake, I can listen to my splitter scraping on the ground. It's pretty entertaining. Ended up with a best lap in my second session. It was like a 2:13.7, I think, which is the fastest I've ever gone around Daytona, and I'm very, very pumped on it. Car's in one piece, loaded up. I'm gonna go grab a drink with some friends and then drive home. Stand by for edited track video. It's gonna be really good. All right, thanks.